Hi guys, welcome to my video and my podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, then please like and subscribe. And if you're watching on the podcast, then welcome. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 baby first aid scenarios that and how to handle them. So they're the top 5 things that happen quite commonly, and they're the things that we really need to know about, you know, ASAP. Because when they happen right in front of you, right on top of you, and you have absolutely no time to react normally. So what we're going to talk about today is number one is choking. So what happens when your baby is choking is they might suddenly go quite quiet and silent. This happened to me recently with my son, and he is 8 years old. Now it's happened to me when in a park when a baby was 6 months old, just a friend of a friend, didn't know them. Baby fully choked right in front of us at a barbecue, and it was absolutely terrifying. That was how my business started. I'll link in the show notes about that whole scenario. It was awful. A happy ending in the end, I'm glad to tell you. But anyway, what happens is a baby suddenly, baby or a child, they'll go quite silent. They might look quite panicked. They might have their eyes wide open. They might grasp their fingers and have their arms out to the side. Sometimes their lips might turn a bit pale. They might get a bit bluish. They might be struggling to breathe, have like a panicked expression. That's the difference between choking, whereas gagging is quite momentary. So it's quite quick. It's a big noisy gag, and then usually they'll bring up whatever they need to, and then they're just breathing again very normally. But choking is obviously prolonged, sorry. So what you're going to do is call for help if your baby is properly choking, and you're going to start choking first aid, which is the back slaps and the chest thrusts. Now follow us and look at our website for more information on exactly what to do, and we can definitely help you with that. And you can download one of our freebies as well that tells you how to deal with choking. But if the child is not doesn't recover after 5 back slaps, then you need to turn them round and you need to do chest thrusts. Now, the reason we do back slaps first is they're less invasive and they're very effective, but the chest thrusts are more invasive. It's kind of like the similar position where you do CPR, but not as quickly and in a slightly different position. So it is quite invasive and it can be quite sore. So we do that second. And you're just going to repeat the 5 back slaps, 5 chest thrusts, checking in the mouth between each one until either help arrives or the baby clears itself, clears the airway, or if the baby stops breathing, that's when we start CPR. So that's what happens with choking first aid. It is one of the most common things to happen in childhood. So falls and head bumps, what we're going to look out for. If a baby bumps their head or a child bumps their head, we really want them to be crying straight away. Now, if it wasn't bad enough for them to be crying straight away, then we're not worried anyway. But if they don't cry straight away, then that is a concern for a red flag. We're going to also look out for vomiting, sleepiness, or confusion. All of those things. There is so many things. If you look at any of our blog posts, just Google the Nest CPR head injury. If you look at any of our blog posts with the symptoms, you'll see that there is so many symptoms that it's really hard to talk about them all in one go. So it's best just to have a note of exactly what those symptoms are. Look out for any bumps, bruises, or swellings on the head. Generally, this part of our head, our forehead, is kind of built for impact, but around the edges where the temple is and at the back of the head, it can be more serious depending on where on the head the bump happens. So we're going to stay calm if our child has a head injury. We're going to just monitor their symptoms, obviously bearing in mind that they haven't been knocked unconscious. If they're knocked unconscious, we're going to call an ambulance and we're going to get them seen by medical help as soon as possible. We can put a cold compress on any swelling. We can take down, swelling in that way. And we're going to watch for signs of concussion and any more serious injury. But if a child falls generally from a meter high and above, then that is a sign to definitely get them checked. Or if they're sleepier, or if there's any concern, maybe you can't put your finger on it, but you think something's wrong, then get them checked straight away. So number 3 is fevers and febrile seizures. So what is a febrile seizure? Well, it's a fit or a seizure when the child's body temperature suddenly goes up. Now, this happens commonly between 6 months and 6 years old, but that age around 18 months to 3 is really the sweet spot of when it usually happens. Both of my children had them, and I had them too, and they are genetic, so they can run in families. Generally, they don't last for more than a minute or two. And even though they look awful, they actually, there is no research to show that any harm comes to your child when they have a febrile seizure. We don't really know why it happens. It happens when the temperature goes up suddenly, and we just have no idea why this happens. But the baby's or child's body goes into convulsions, and yeah, we just need to support them, and call an ambulance, and usually time it to see how long it lasts. And I know it sounds a bit strange, but I actually think it's not that strange now in the world we live in. But if you can video it on your phone, then that's a really good thing for the doctor to be able to see, so they can decipher whether this was, was actually a true fit, what type of fit it was. And also, once the child has come out of it before help arrives, take the temperature, because if they've got a fever, we know straight away what it is. Okay, number 4 is burns and scalds. So this normally happens with coffee cups, bath waters, things like that. So if your child does get burnt and they get some liquid on them, then strip them off immediately, even the nappy, because nappies are designed to hold liquid. So what do we not want? We don't want that nappy to be full of hot liquid and burning the skin and it not coming away. So we want to strip the baby off and make sure that we've got any fluid that was sitting on the skin away from it. Check the baby all over. If the burn is larger than a 20-cent piece, or it's gone deep, like really deep, or the baby is inconsolable, or the baby might have gone quite quiet, they might have gone into shock, we're going to hold that burn under cool running water for 20 minutes. If it's on the face, we obviously can't do that. We're going to alternate with some clean cloths. If we can't get them to the doctor, then we need to call an ambulance if it's bigger than 20 centimeters, a 20-cent coin. But otherwise, we're going to keep it under the cool running water for 20 minutes. We're going to cover it with a non-stick dressing or cling film, and we're going to take them to the doctor and get checked, or the emergency department. Okay. So if the baby is showing signs of shock, though, like they've gone very quiet, or they're very lethargic, or they're not acting normally, then you might need to take them to hospital. And number 5 is CPR. Now, this is something we never ever want to do with our babies, but it's always best to know what to do. So CPR is 30 compressions. So we're going to do 30 compressions in the chest and 2 breaths in the mouth. With the mouth, we're going to try and cover the nose and the mouth with our mouth. But if not, we're going to pinch the nose so that we just cover the mouth. We're going to have them on a flat surface, never on a bed or a chair or a sofa. It always have to be on the floor, because we want a hard surface underneath them so that the compressions actually make a difference. We're going to do 30 compressions, 2 per second. Don't worry if you do 28 or 32, that's okay. Just around about 30 compressions, 2 per second, using 2 fingers for under 1, or 1 hand for over 1 to around about 8 years old, or 2 hands. But bear in mind that if your fingers aren't strong enough, it's okay to use the heel of your hand for an under 1-year-old, but you just need to remember that you are a lot stronger with the heel of your hand rather than 2 fingers. We want about a third of the depth of the chest, and we're just going to do 30 compressions and 2 breaths until help arrives. I hope this is helpful for you today. Get in touch with us at thenestcpr.com, or over on Instagram at thenestcpr. Leave us some comments, like and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube, or give us a thumbs up if you are listening to us on the podcast. Follow us on Instagram. We can't wait to meet you.